Hello, hello. Welcome to another video here on my YouTube channel. My name is Lissa, and I've been following a raw diet since 2014, so it's been over a decade now. Today, I really want to chat about eating raw in the winter. Every year, I like to do a video like this for any new people who are following or for a refresher for those who might need a little inspiration during the colder months. So let's talk all about raw in the winter. I have 10 things to discuss in this video, so stay tuned. Thank you again so much for joining me here on my YouTube channel. If you like videos like this, you know what to do. Click that subscribe button and check out the plant-based bundle that's available right now. This is the biggest sale of the year. We've got 16 contributions in this bundle valued at $867. So for only $50, this is a great opportunity to get the majority of our content. We've got the wraps in this bundle. We have party food. So that's raw vegan appetizers. We have the tacos and tostadas. We have Nate's microgreens video course teaching you how to grow sprouts and microgreens. We have a live lunch where we make sushi and tacos and burgers and salads. And there's over 35 hours worth of video content in a live lunch. You get access to that as well. There's holiday menu 1, 2, and the brand new number 3. These are holiday menus, 8-course meals for 8 to 10 or 12 people for the holidays. So if you're looking for some raw vegan holiday awesomeness, grab the bundle. Only $50 gets you so much content. And if you didn't want to get the bundle or you already have the bundle and you still want to get a couple of our ebooks on the side, 60% off sale on those. The code is BFF 2024. Link is in the description box below, along with the link for all of the other Black Friday sales that we have going on. So check it out. All the links to all the goodies is down below. And let's chat about eating raw in the winter. So when I started raw, and like I said, I do this video almost every year. It's a really fun one to do because I did my first 5 years raw in the winter in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I was born and raised in Canada, and I moved to the United States when I was 39 to marry Nate. And I'll be 45 in like a week or so. But those first 5 winters in Canada, I learned a lot. The number one tip that I have for anyone who is struggling in the colder climates is to eat enough. This is key. This is so key. When we learn about how the metabolism works and when we undereat, our metabolism is downregulated. We can feel really cold more often because our body is like a furnace. We need to fuel it in order for the furnace to run properly and to feel warm. When we are not consuming enough calories for our body's needs, that's our BMR plus our activity levels, plus a little more for some people. That's usually over 2,000 calories. I eat roughly 2,400 calories a day, give or take. This is the amount of fuel we need to make sure that everything is functioning properly. If we're not getting enough calories in, the body turns down the metabolism because it's trying to conserve energy. It's not getting enough energy, so it turns down the thermostat, because that's what it has to do in order to conserve that energy. Other things that get downregulated are our hormones. So, we have trouble sleeping or we're not sleeping enough hours. That's a really important one too. If you find you're waking up multiple times during the night and can't get back to sleep, think about how many calories you ate during that day. The body sometimes tends to wake up and look for fuel, even though you might not be conscious of it. It doesn't have enough energy to sustain itself, so it can wake up throughout the night if you're not eating enough. But the main thing is that our metabolism can be downregulated and we can feel cold more often. And I really noticed this when I first went raw. I quickly learned that I needed to eat enough calories to feel comfortable and feel warm. And I reflected on my past, and I was really stuck in diet culture. I would calorie restrict severely to lose weight. Sometimes I would be eating 1,200 to 1,400, sometimes 1,500 calories a day, which is not enough. That's what like a 4-year-old needs. So I was not eating enough calories in the past. And I would feel cold all the time. My nose, my ears, my fingers, my toes. I would just be so chilly all the time. And I would be tired even though most of those 1,400 calories that I was eating was warm cooked foods, hot cooked foods. I would eat a lot of hot cooked foods, and that didn't help my feeling cold. And it was because I was not eating enough. Then, when I switched over to raw and I learned to eat enough, I noticed that I was no longer cold. My nose was no longer cold. Like my nose is not cold right now. My ears are not cold right now because I fuel my body with enough calories so it can keep the furnace going. So it's super, super important to make sure that you eat enough on a raw diet. It is very easy to undereat on a raw diet because raw foods are low in calorie density. So we have to eat more volume of them in order to get adequate calories. That's why I really recommend that when you make one of the low fat salad dressings to use the entire serving amount, which is usually like a cup or two on your salad, to make sure that you're getting enough calories from the dates in the dressing or the fruit in the dressing. And have bigger salads, make bigger salads, take a little more time to chew those. And that can help a lot with your metabolism. The second thing that I found that helped a lot was not eating things right out of the fridge. So I am not a fan of super cold salads with cold lettuce, cold cucumbers, cold tomatoes, and a cold dressing. I'm not too much a fan of those. Unless it's a really hot summer day, I don't mind. But on the colder days, it's not that much fun to have a really cold salad. So what I learned early on was to take some of those ingredients out of the fridge in advance if I was able to, and let them come to room temperature before chopping my salad. And another thing that I learned too was to keep a lot of the things like tomatoes and cucumbers on the counter because they would be at room temperature anyways. And again, like I said, I'm not a fan of the cold, crisp cucumbers and tomatoes in the winter months. I prefer them to be at room temperature. So most of what I eat is at room temperature unless we're eating ice cream or an ice in a smoothie or something like that. And those are choices, right? Maybe we need a little bit of some ice cream and we want that in the winter anyways. But for the most part, most of what we eat is at room temperature. And that moves into tip number 3, to use your blender, your high-speed blender and your dehydrator to bring things to room temperature or to warm them slightly up to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit. So a high-speed blender, if you blend something like a sauce or a soup base or a chili base. Speaking of stews and soups and curries and stuff, Chris Kendall has his Cravings Busters Stews book in the bundle. So grab that if you haven't yet. Link is in the description box below. And you can blend up the soup base or the sauce base on high in the blender for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, and it warms to the touch. And then you can use that for a nice warm raw dish. You don't need to heat it up on the stove or anything. You just use your blender. Most blenders have a soup option as well that warms it up if it's high speed. Now, one tip that I have on that, it's kind of a little bonus tip, is use a ceramic bowl for it. And while you're preparing the ingredients, just put the bowl in the dehydrator to let it warm up. So turn it on and let the bowl warm up a little bit. So when you do add the warmer soup or stew or chili to the bowl, it doesn't get colder faster. So if you're adding it to a chilled bowl or a bowl that's been, it's room temperature. So I find ceramic is a little colder even at room temperature. And this can make your warm raw soup colder faster. So warm up the ceramic bowl before putting your soup or stew in it, and that'll help keep it warmer longer. And then also use your dehydrator. We like to make ramen, which is just marinated vegetables, and then we put those over cucumber. So when we put the marinated vegetables into the dehydrator, we also take our cucumbers out of the fridge, or if they're not, we just have them on the counter. But sometimes we have them in the fridge. If we buy lots of them, we don't want them to go bad. We'll take the amount of cucumbers we want out of the fridge, and then we'll put our marinating vegetables in the dehydrator for about an hour. And that gives the cucumber time to come to room temperature. And then we spiralize the cucumber, put the marinated vegetables on the cucumber, and we have a nice little warm dish. And again, use the warmer plates or bowls that you can warm in the dehydrator to add that little extra coziness. Next up would be to use spices to your advantage. There are quite a few warming spices that can help stimulate circulation, like cayenne pepper or any of the hot chilies. You've got rosemary, which is a really great one for stimulating circulation, especially to the scalp. To help with hair growth as well. So rosemary is a great one to add. Ginger, cardamom, turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon. These are all warming spices, and you can add these to your meals. Holiday menu 1, 2, and 3, which are all available in the bundle, all have some of these warming spices included, and you can always add more if you want to get a little extra bonus of that warming spice in there. And this can really help to stimulate the circulation and keep you a little bit warmer. And then, of course, exercise. In the colder months, we typically don't spend as much time outside in general, and we spend more time cozied up on the couch, maybe watching Netflix, and not really doing as much exercise. And when we are sedentary, our metabolism again is down-regulated because we're not moving, we're not getting the blood flowing and things like that. So if you are feeling a little chilly, you made sure that you're eating enough, maybe you had a raw soup for lunch and you're still feeling a little cold, maybe the ambient temperature is a little on the chilly side, get up and do 50 squats. Get up and do a minute straight of jumping jacks. Get up and get on that rebounder if you have one and jump to a song. Or if you don't have a rebounder, just dance to a song. Put on your favorite song and get up and dance. Get some movement in there so that you can get that blood flowing. And I mean, I did this too. I would get up and I would do 50 squats. It would take about a minute and a half or so. And I would feel really nice and warm after, obviously, because I got up and moved. So that's another awesome trick to do as well, is just add a little bit extra movement when you're feeling a little chilly. There's also massages and saunas. These can warm you up, or hot baths. Hot tubs that can warm you up if you're feeling a little cold. And next step would be to cozy up with some blankets, some sweaters, maybe change the temperature if it's a little chilly. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the food. Most times actually it has nothing to do with the food, and more so to do with inactivity or the ambient temperature. And if you have to cozy up, there's nothing wrong with wearing an extra sweater or snuggling up in a blanket, or even making a warm cup of water, like have some hot water in a little mug. That's always nice to hold too, or have some tea if you really want to. These are all options that can help cozy you up again as well in the colder months. Next, when it comes to comfort, sometimes we need those comfort foods, or we feel like we need those comfort foods in order to feel more cozy, when in reality, we might just need to find other things that can bring that cozy as well. And just ties into the last one. Maybe it's reading a good little book in front of a fireplace and cozied up with some blankets. Maybe it's taking a warm bath. Maybe it's going out for a walk. Maybe it's calling a friend. And we don't always have to default to food to feel that comfort. We can default to other activities that really satiate us on a different level. Maybe doing a skincare routine, or spending some time with your companion animals if you have some, or your spouse or your loved ones or your kids. Do something like that instead of defaulting to some comfort foods, because those, in the winter months, they're more attractive, they're more dense in calories, and we don't necessarily need those things to feel comfort. We can find other ways to find that comfort as well. And the produce. In Canada, the produce wasn't the greatest, and it was super expensive. I would sometimes feel discouraged because a pineapple was $7 and the mangoes were kind of woody and they didn't have as much flavor. And I just really wasn't a fan of a lot of the things that I was getting in the winter. In the summertime, we had great options. We had peaches and cherries and nectarines and great produce in Canada in the summertime, but in the wintertime, it just wasn't as great. So what I learned was to find a way to be grateful for what I could get instead of feeling down on what I couldn't. So we were able to get bananas and dates. So I was grateful for those bananas and dates. And I made sure I focused on what I was excited about, even though it might have been boring, so to speak, in the wintertime. At least I had that and I was grateful for that. So switching the mindset can sometimes help get through the challenging times. And on a side note, in the summertime, it's a great idea to stock up on the inexpensive things like blueberries and other berries and fruits, mangoes, maybe if they're on sale. Get a lot of them and then freeze them so that you have those options in the wintertime because you were able to buy them in the summertime, so you have them for the winter. So that's another great tip as well. And finally, the peer pressure that comes along with the holidays that happen typically in the colder months. It's hard, it's challenging, and we want to be part of the group. We all want to chew together, as Nate likes to say, and it doesn't necessarily matter what you're chewing together. So having a plan is going to be the best thing to do when you are dealing with all of these social gatherings that are coming up. Have a plan, go over your reasons why, and feel that confidence. We're going to talk about this in another video coming soon, talking about how to plan and visualize and do all that fun stuff. So have a plan, go into it knowing that you are making great choices for yourself, go into it with that plan, and come out of it feeling encouraged and empowered and confident. So those are my tips for the winter months. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Click the link in the description box below to get the plant-based bundle. You're getting over $3,700 worth of content, including $860 worth of our stuff for 50 bucks. All you pay is $50. You get to download everything in the bundle. And we have 16 different things included in this bundle. The brand new holiday menu, volume 3. You're also getting volume 1 and 2, the hand salads, wraps book, the taco book, party food, dude food, the nice cream book, our Alive Lunch video course. Like, there's so much content in this bundle. Meal Plan Volume 3 is also in there too. So get the bundle. This is the best time to get some of our content for $50. And if you already got the bundle, or if you wanted just our ebook separately, you can enjoy 60% off for our Black Friday sale. This is going till December 2nd as well. 60% off code is BFF2024. Use that code at checkout and get 60% off any or all of our recipe ebooks. There's also a link to all the other fun Black Friday sales that we're part of down below in the description box. So head on over there for all the goodies. And we'll be back tomorrow for another video. Can't wait to see you then. Thank you so much for joining, and fruit on.